Let me get to our in-house psychotherapist, Jill Payne. We're the only show with an in-house psychotherapist. Joins us on Wednesdays via Skype. What is up, Jill?
Life.
I know, right?
No, I was watching yesterday when they found out. It was around 6 o'clock or so. And I even became tearful because she really was a wonderful person. My mom, who was a Reagan delegate, was lucky enough to know her and bumped into her into some social event where her son was running for president, and all she heard Miss Bush talk about was how lovely the other candidate was. Aww. And how they're both wonderful boys, and she was really a mother, because that's how she spoke.
Classy. She's so classy. Jill is a member of the American Academy
from the heart.
Yeah, American Academy of Psychotherapy, and an author. And I think that's where we first met, when she came to us for website problems and wasn't working correct or something like that, and we became friends and started joining us on the show. And you got to give props to that breed of woman who puts who's like, my career is my husband, my children, our family. And some of these women on the God of Salt left, kids, I'll have someone else raise them. I'll hire someone to raise them. Husband, or whatever. My career. What is it about women like Barbara Bush who realize the importance, the holiness, the mission of being a great wife, a great mom, having just a wonderful, loving family, versus my career is more important than anything. I went to college. I'm a feminist. What is it about those beautiful women like that?
And she was a very powerful woman too.
Yeah.
So it shows that you can be powerful and still have these values. She had family values, and your values run what you do. So if I value work, I'm going to put work first. And she valued family. She realized that children, and look at her children, they're all successes. And so she valued and put her children first, actually her family first, because of course her hubby. And when you do that, this is what happens. So there are consequences to your behavior. And so this is what she did. And also she had a good self-esteem. When you have strong self-esteem, you don't need to prove yourself. You already know that you're worthy.
I like that.
So, yeah.
In-house psychotherapist Jill Payne. So when you have strong self-esteem, right? You don't need to have a wall full of plaques and awards of people telling you you're great. You know you're great, and your family reaffirms your greatness every day, right? With hugs and kisses.
Exactly. So that's one thing wrong, or not, I shouldn't say wrong, but that's one thing that when I said I'm doing this study that's going on with our millennials and our Gen Zs, is they are needing validation, constant validation, like from the internet, from their screens, and they need to find it from within, just like Barbara Bush did. So there you go. So that's where her priorities were.
That was strong. And props to the moms who do that, because there are some moms, and I've been on radio for so long, in female focused radio, and you'll hear, I'm not staying home to raise children. I have a career. I went to college. I have a degree. And isn't it the greatest job in the world to raise wonderful, loving children? And as poor as we were growing up, I mean, seriously, my mom didn't work. You know what? You know when she went to work? When I was in fourth grade.
Right.
She
was a teacher. Were blessed. I was going to say, because I've got the other side. I was a single parent, and I knew that family came first. And my son, I had girlfriends who would tell me, Jill, that your son's going to know that you sacrificed. And I made sure that he saw his dad every day, and he saw his other family every day. Matter of fact, she picked him up, and then I would, take him. But there are women, because I had to work. Otherwise, I wouldn't have any money.
No. If you're a single mom, widowed, single mom.
Right. So just because you're a single mom, you need to understand that your children are the soul, or they're what creates our society. So we need to put children first. And I even tell clients, if they don't want to have children, please don't have children. So when you bring children into the world, you need to me, that's my bias. That's my bias, is that they come first.
Mine too.
So,
not first like spoiled, but first in terms of nurture and love.
Exactly.
And give them a safe, secure home. And then,
attention, validation.
And then I tell you, before we get to the break, when Princess and I have our dates, we have like a Saturday morning or Sunday morning, one or the other we got for our breakfast and coffee. And we just sit because we catch up. I just don't see her. Sometimes I'm working so long. Right. And you always see moms and dads, and they're talking, the little kids, and they give them a phone to play with. And I told you this. Right. And they're like 1 or 2 or 3 years old, these little kids. And they're staring at a screen. I just want to go up and slap the taste out their mouth at them parents. Interact, talk, even if you're busy during the week. I get it. You're busy during the week. Talk. Touch them. Put your hand around them. Let you know how much you love them. Hey, how was your day, little Tommy or little Bubba and I? He was 2 years old, 3 years old. We'd go out and have our father-son lunch. No phones, just talk. And he still remembers those. He's like, Dad, remember the father-son lunch? So I encourage parents, too. Interact.
To verbally talk and physically interact without devices.
Put the damn phones away. Unless it's an emergency or you're a first responder, you're in special operations, or seriously, just put the damn phone away.
Yes.
All right, let me take a break. I want to continue our conversation about the American Psychotherapy Association. I said Academy. And I'm not memorizing it. She's on Skype. I'm just reading the sign behind her.
I'm going to have a new one made.
No, I won't be able to read it. It's perfectly situated. American Psychotherapy Association, I can read it. And we actually did the headshot picture there a long time ago. Anyway, and real quick before
don't say too long ago, because I want to keep it for a couple more years.
Oh, please look at my headshot on Facebook. That was like in 5th grade. Please.
Okay.
And real quick before we get back to the interesting issues of stress and anxiety and psychotherapy, props to you. When you started here, you were hanging out on our show, and now you've been on Newsmax and Channel 2, and then Jim Bohannon's radio show, a national show. So props on that.
Thank you so much.
That's very cool. And I grew up listening to Jim Bohannon, so I have a lot of respect for him. He's a great radio host. Used to be Larry King's fill-in when Larry did it years ago.
Right.
So that's cool. Tell everybody what you spoke about real quick.
Well, what we spoke about is basically what's going on with I'm doing a second analysis research paper, and it's basically my hypothesis is that too much screen time too much screen time is causing our kids today, or the people today, to become more violent or antisocial behavior or antisocial personality disorder. So that's what I was talking about, the things that are going on, and they're showing brain change.
And I agree with you 110%, but why do we need a study? I can tell you that with no, seriously, the violence in video games, having a teenage boy, and I'll go up. He's in college now, but when he was living here last year, I'd go to his room. There's a bunch of kids in there playing video games. Right. Holy frigoli, people are getting shot and heads cut off and blown up, and it's realistic. Is it any wonder that it affects them?
Right. People need to have things, quote, proven. And so when I do the study, I'll show the pros and the cons. It's just like at the beginning of the show, you read my little letters that I have beside my name, or it just makes people unconsciously or in the subconscious think, hey man, she really knows what she's talking about. So it's just people, and I guess that has to do with bias too.
That's true. And real quick on that topic, what is more and more people walking and reading their phones, especially women? It's not a safe thing to do. What is so important on the screen? It's usually social media. What is it about the brain that says walk without looking, even in a dark parking lot or in the evening? Walk without looking, stare at your phone. Where's the button in the head that says that's not a good idea?
Where's the button in the head that says it's not a good idea?
To walk and have your face in the screen and walk. You could first of all, you could trip and fall. Secondly, you can't see danger approaching.
So there's been a study shown where the same region of the brain that when we eat chocolate, and I know, Sam, you love chocolate as much as me.
Oh, yeah.
When we eat chocolate, there's a region in the brain that lights up, and we feel really good when we eat chocolate. So when we get a like on our phone, that same region of the brain lights up. So it's just as though they're eating a bunch of chocolate, and so people like chocolate, or a lot of them do.
Yeah.
And so that's what's getting them, that's overriding our logic. It's overriding our logic, and then it's also causing a pattern. It's also creating a habit. And so all this is influencing our behavior. So you're right, we need to step back and we need to be educated too. So I was even watching, I was watching a video and I thought this was very interesting. And someone said that he believes the technology, the phone, is just like the slot machine. And that the slot machine is a behavior modification. So what you do is you hit the slot and you don't know, oh, am I going to win? Oh, I'm going to win. I win in about 5 minutes. I win, and then I don't win for another 20 minutes, but it gets you to hang on. So he compared that our phones, the ringing of the phones and all the dinging, to a slot machine.
Wow,
so
that's interesting.
There you go. So it's addictive.
Jill Payne, our in-house psychotherapist. I like how you say like we like chocolate, and
yes.
And that's that part of the brain you go, oh, like chocolate, and maybe a like in social media or whatever,
right,
is that
yes.
feeling of a follower, and then you keep checking, and then you develop I'm not gonna say a habit, but like an addiction, where you have to keep checking it, and now you're freaking driving and walking. You're walking, and it's at night, because I come to work or very early in the morning or late at night, depending on how you look at it. And I just see women walk. It's pitch black out here. I mean, we have security stuff with us, but they don't.
Yeah. And
they're walking and not looking where their feet are going.
Right.
So it's
and
like
there are
an
even
addiction.
tickets. People are getting tickets in New Jersey, I think. I read a long time ago, the $85, maybe it's more. They get a ticket for looking at their phone and walking.
That's because if they fall, it's $20,000 for a broken arm or something.
Well, and also, people run into them, and I've been run into by people on their phones. They just walk right. They're oblivious to this. So what we need to do, Sam, is we need to incorporate it in our lives and we need to get things, show people that you can have just as much fun and excitement in the real world. I don't like to say real world, but we live in two worlds. That's another thing I talked about. We live in a virtual world and we live in a, quote, real world. And so we need to teach people that there are fun things to do and you can still get that excitement without jumping out of a plane in the real world. So I think that's what we need to start doing, is doing more of that.
Who'd have thunk it? Who'd have thunk it, folks? It's just like
only
parenting.
going to get worse.
Yeah, just like parenting. Get your face out of the screen. All right, a good friend, Jill Payne, and we're going to talk about something else. We didn't get to it. That's okay. I got to run. From the American Psychotherapy Association, now heard on national radio and seen all over on television. Thanks for being part of our show on our Wednesday segment, as we're the only show with an in-house psychotherapist.
Thanks so much for having me, Sam. You're the best.
Yeah, you're the best.